Hi, welcome to my latest podcast or YouTube video. Today I am talking about a topic that has been saturated, talked about over and over again. I'm going to talk about covert narcissism. But before I do that, I want to tell you that there's just way too much information out there. If you Google covert narcissism for as far as podcasts or YouTube videos, you'll see hundreds upon hundreds of people talking about the topic. Many are my esteemed colleagues who are brilliant, who have great information and great advice and contributions to offer to those who are just victims of the problem and talk about what it's like to suffer at the hands of a covert narcissist. And then there's everything in between that. But there are so many videos on the topic that the topic itself has become diluted. And so what I want to do is give a basic reminder of what covert narcissism is, and then share with you some of my latest discoveries on the topic. So my intention is not to cover old ground. Should you be interested, that information is in my book, and it's coming out in a week, and I could not be more proud. The Codependency Revolution, Fixing What Has Always Been Broken. Or if you've read my Human Magnet Syndrome book, or my full-length seminar videos available at selfloverecovery.com, you've heard me talk about it. So I have no intention of repeating what I once said already. But let's start with the basic explanation. According to my work, my belief system, my diagnostic categorization of a problem, that pathological narcissists are attracted to codependents or people with self-love deficit disorder. That is the human magnet syndrome. It's an attraction pattern that will not change. If you're an SLD or a codependent, there is a 99% probability that you are going to be naturally, reflexively, and unconsciously attracted to a person who's a pathological narcissist. Someone with borderline, narcissistic, or antisocial personality disorder. By the way, antisocial personality disorder, the short name for it is sociopathy or a sociopath. So there's three primary diagnoses. Narcissistic personality disorder, like the others, have subtypes. And one of the many subtypes of it is called covert narcissism. Even though that the powers that be who run the American Psychiatric Association or the American Psychological Association have not officially endorsed the term, it is embraced by the world at large, which include therapists and a large swath of mental health workers. So let's start with a basic definition. If you want more, just go on my YouTube channel and within the channel, just put a search term of covert narcissist and you'll see plenty of information. But my goal is not to repeat myself, but to share with you my updates. A covert narcissist has narcissistic personality disorder. That's where we start. It's a personality type. But what makes them different from other NPDs, people with narcissistic personality disorder, they have dishonest, manipulative, sociopathic traits of pretending to be something that they're not, pretending to be healthy, happy, benevolent, empathetic, a rabbi, a priest, a teacher, a beloved community member. They pretend to be someone that will be beloved and respected so that they can achieve success while hiding their true nature underneath. So in other words, covert narcissists have narcissistic personality disorder, but unlike the garden variety people with NPD, they know they have it and therefore are aware that should they openly act out their pathological narcissism, people won't like them, they might be offensive, and they might not be successful in the career field that they have chosen. So they recreate a persona that is lovable, that is adored, that is respected, that is seen as benevolent, altruistic, empathetic, happy, healthy, socially aware. It's a pretend persona that is done believably because they are aware of what they're doing and they understand the benefit from getting people to believe that. And that enables them to have a job, a profession, a social standing that is beneficial and brings them either financial rewards or other rewards that they could not otherwise have gotten if they were openly expressive NPD. So to summarize that, covert narcissists have narcissistic personality disorder. They have sociopathic traits that enable them to be conscious of what they're doing, to have limited empathy and understanding and sympathy while projecting a false personality type, while creating this personality type that is beloved so that they can seek the benefits of that. So basic definition of covert narcissism. There's many different types and variations of that, but again, this is not the intent of this video. So this is what I want to share with you. I've come to understand that covert narcissists and sociopaths are very similar. And it's not that I've discovered this new category or I feel really glad or happy about knowing it. Is the knowledge of these similarities helps you understand the way, the manner that they exploit you. Helps you put words into something that has been without description. It helps you take an image of someone that on paper or in your experience looks great, but then according to what we know about sociopaths, helps us understand what we see is not what is real. So although there is a difference between sociopaths, people with antisocial personality disorder, and narcissistic personality disorder, which I'll get to in a minute, they're different disorders. Someone with narcissistic personality disorder who is a covert narcissist is able to achieve their narcissistic needs, able to get people to like them, adore them, become a part of social groups, achieve political standing, achieve benefits that they could only get if they remolded themselves into what they believe people want. Therefore, they're aware of it. They're actively lying. They're actively pretending to be what they're not. And they understand that if they don't do that, they will lose everything that they've amassed because of their pathological narcissism. People with narcissistic personality disorder, garden variety, NPD, they are not aware of their narcissism, which explains why if you confront them, you suggest it to them, you set boundaries with them, they get triggered and activated. And we call that a narcissistic injury. So narcissistic personality disorder manifests as this grandiosity, entitlement, vanity, and so many other symptoms that for which I have tons of information on in my book or my other resources, but they lack awareness. And even if they were aware, they are not motivated to pretend to be someone else. The more they are conscious of their pathological narcissism, the more that they can predict what people won't like if they should behave in that way, and predict what they will like if they should pretend to be someone who's likable. So a person with narcissistic personality disorder is not conscious of their narcissism, and there are many variations of people with NPD. But the purpose of this discussion is not that. A person with antisocial personality disorder is someone who has no empathy, no regard for boundaries, has limited sympathy, has no remorse, and lives by what I call the pleasure principle. They do what feels good regardless of its impact or the consequences on other people. They are deeply selfish. Some are scheming and secretive. Some don't care, and they're the brutal criminals that are out on the streets or in prison. But what all sociopaths share in common is a disregard for the feelings, rights of other people, a selfish, one-dimensional approach to relationships that are completely focused on getting what they want despite the consequences to the other person. They don't want to have friends. They don't want to be a part of social groups. They don't want to be a leader. See, that's the differentiation between a covert narcissist and someone with sociopathy, someone with ASPD. The covert narcissist loves being at the center of people's attention, wants to be a leader, wants to represent an organization through their fake and contrived persona and personality. And they greatly benefit from when they're able to pull it off successfully. But in the background, when no one's around and they're by themselves or they're with their families, say romantic partner or children, they are openly pathologically narcissistic. They're mean, they're nasty, they're selfish. In fact, I remember a story, and I'll never forget it, and this might be about 20 years old. I remember a kid, a teenager, who I was counseling, whose father was a beloved counselor in a local high school. And everyone in high school loved him. The principal, the administrative staff, the teachers, and this large swath of kids who adored him. He had this elevated position that was almost too good to be true. And so this teenager who went to the same school would be reminded every day about the sociopathic personality of his father. People would come up to him and say, "Oh, your dad's great. Oh, you're so lucky," stuff like that. And he would know secretly that when he's at home with his dad is mean, nasty, belligerent, manipulative, and just generally harmful. The point in sharing that story is that covert narcissists do not try to hide the truth of their pathological narcissism and sociopathy when in the comfort of people that they know and believe won't out them. So if we understand that covert narcissism is the intersection between sociopathy, of having limited to no empathy, sympathy, remorse, concern, and being obsessed with narcissistic fantasies, then we understand exactly what covert narcissism is. And the reason this is so critically important is because if you're aware that your covert narcissist partner, friend, or boss can be best understood as a sociopath, it helps you understand the degree of the sickness, the depravity, the degree at which you are unsafe and potentially at risk for some serious harm. Because if we project this belief that covert narcissists are just your garden variety pathological narcissists who are full of themselves, et cetera, and who lie, we do not understand the gravity of the problem and the potential consequences and risks of being in a relationship with one of them. In addition, and I have this video on this, and it happens to be a good one because it's been viewed 3.5 million times, and I believe the title is "Don't Take the Mask Off a Covert Narcissist and Just Run." And I won't even try to go over the main ideas of that video except to say that if you should try to out the covert narcissist and expose them, then their antisocial personality disorder comes out in full force, because they are conscious that if people understand who they are, that their narcissistic fantasies, their narcissistic abilities, their relationships that are based upon their pathological narcissism, everything will fall apart. They will fall from grace and be seen as a horrible person. Considering that, they have everything to lose if you should try to out them. And because of that, and this is the big thing, the big deal about that video, is that you are in danger. So it's better to just run, pack your bags, and move on because the risk of outing a covert narcissist could be well beyond the benefit. So to wrap this video up, covert narcissism is a very serious mental health problem that is diagnosed as narcissistic personality disorder. And through this video, I'm hoping you understand the connection it has with antisocial personality disorder or sociopathy. Because if you can hold both of these together, NPD and ASPD, and understand how they interact, you'll understand the unique danger of a covert narcissist. And in some ways, they're more dangerous than people who are just ASPDs or sociopaths. Because ASPDs don't want to be your friend. They don't want to be esteemed leaders or spokespeople or be known as good parents or teacher or whatever. They just want to get what they can and then get the heck out without notice. Or they just keep this secret pretend persona on the outside while never letting anyone in on the fact that they're really sociopathic. In other words, someone who has ASPD or a sociopath can pretend to be someone, but do nothing more than that pretending and have nothing to substantiate it with hopes that no one will ever know or ask questions. But on the other hand, the covert narcissist pretends to be human, pretends to be lovable, pretends to be a nice human being who really cares about you. And if they can get you to believe it, and they are given authority, they are in a relationship, they are given a responsibility that has power over people, then they are insidiously dangerous. So I hope this video helped broaden your understanding of covert narcissism, helped you understand how it is a blending of sociopathy, ASPD, and narcissistic personality disorder, while helping you understand the severe danger a person experiences when in a relationship with them that is much different than if they were in a relationship with someone with narcissistic personality disorder or antisocial personality disorder. Should you want more information on this topic or my treatment program, my self-love recovery treatment program, which cures this codependency or SLDD thing, so that you're no longer attracted to narcissists and you no longer keep making the same mistake over and over again while hoping for different outcomes, then I suggest you checking out my website, selfloverecovery.com, and checking out the materials and the resources regarding my 10-stage self-love recovery treatment program. At the website, you'll find many resources about this treatment program, and I have openings for it. So if you want some help, contact us at selfloverecovery.com and reach out to us, or just check out the website, selfloverecovery.com, or check out my new book. Again, couldn't be more proud of it, The Codependency Revolution, Fixing What Has Always Been Broken. It is going to be available in a week in everywhere that you usually get books, especially Amazon. So thank you for your time. And as always, I appreciate your support. Be well and take care.